Hello, welcome back to the Caring Conversation Studio, live at the Care Show London. We're here with Alfie.
Hello.
How are you doing, Alfie?
I'm all right, yeah, I'm good.
Yeah, good. We're going to talk about sales and marketing today.
I hope so, yeah.
Sales and marketing for care homes, right. What's the jam? What's popular? What's big? What's interesting? Give us the lowdown.
On sales and marketing for care homes.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think...
It's a lot to cover. You want to start at the top of the funnel?
Yeah.
What should people... is a website important?
I think what's important to note is that marketing is a massive thing. When people say marketing, if I say marketing to you, you're going to have an idea in your head of what that looks like. Probably at the forefront is like video, because that's what you do.
Yeah.
You talk to somebody else, you talk to a care home provider or a home care startup, and you say the word marketing to them. What does that mean? So when I say the word marketing, I mean a multidisciplinary spread of like 10 years experience of everything from like SEO, pay-per-click, lead generation, and it's a huge discipline, you know, and one person can't do it all. You need really a team to fully understand marketing. What's probably the most important for care operators is to understand that there is a system to marketing. It's not some kind of dark art, although getting into SEO, it feels like it sometimes.
I had a conversation with someone yesterday about dark social.
Social?
We'll come back round to that. It's interesting. Anyway,
I'm curious about this.
You were saying.
Yeah, so what's important is that it's joined up, because you can very easily get a website, or you can very easily create some content, or you can very easily find a company that will do some paid ads for you. But it's quite difficult then to know what's working, what leads into it. You know, you might run paid ads for 6 months, but nobody told you at the start. Maybe your website's not set up for it. So, yeah, one of the key things for care providers to bear in mind is your marketing has to be joined up, and there's a process to it. You start out with your brand. What's your message? Who are you? And you might think, I've been doing this for 10, 15 years. I know what my company does. I know if I'm a care home, I know what we stand for, and I know our values really well. But how well do you communicate that to your ideal clients? So there's a whole process involved that always starts with the message. What is it you want to say? A lot of people have a website and they want to put a website together because they think they should have a new website. Yeah. And so they go to a company that will build them a website, and then the website company will say, what is it that you want to say to people? And sometimes they'll say, well, we think we're great at providing care, and that's what we do. And sometimes it takes a little bit of a third party to come up and pull back and say, actually, probably what you're selling is peace of mind. You're building trust. So that's the key message.
Yeah. So it's about having that kind of, and I guess ultimately I would say with marketing, if you're a bad company, like if you don't do good work, if you don't care about your team, if you don't care about your customers, you can slap fancy marketing on top of it, but eventually you'll get found out. So I think fundamentally marketing is about taking good and elevating it and showing it off, and getting it out there and making sure that the people you feel you can serve well, whether you're a home care company or a care home or whatever it is you provide, that you can actually get in front of them when they're looking for what you do.
Yeah, and it's important to note that marketing isn't separate from the organisational day-to-day stuff of your care business. It should be part and parcel of it. It should run through the organisation like a stick of rock. Like, it has to be, everyone should know the importance of, we need to promote who we are to our community. And that gets everyone on board. And it shouldn't be like, oh, we're doing the care, there's another company over there or a person who's responsible for marketing. Everyone's responsible for the image, the brand, and it works both ways, because if you have a really nice looking brand, if you have a really nice web presence, your team go, I work for that company, and they feel more proud, and there's a greater sense of pride in work. You get higher retention rates, so it works both ways. It's not something that is separate to. It should be an integrated solution with your whole team and with whoever you've got in house. Whether you've got someone doing social media already or you haven't, they should be plugged into the whole team.
So if someone is, let's create a scenario, someone's just set up a new home care company, what things do they need to get going to start?
So the absolute first place to start, if you're a new startup home care business, is to think about what makes you different. Because if you're a care home or home care business and you don't know what makes you different, all you're doing is competing on price. And as soon as you're competing on price, it's a race to the bottom, and that's no fun, and there's no margin in it, and it's difficult. If you know what makes you different, then you don't have any competition, because you're not marketing for the customers that are down the road. You're marketing on your point of difference. And that's not an easy thing to discover sometimes, especially if you just come into the sector, or you're rebranding, or you're trying to find out what is it makes you different. Sometimes that's not so obvious. Or you might say, well, we just deliver the best care. But everybody will say that. So it's about finding a message that works. So that's the first step. Once you know what your message is, the next step is, how do you present that? And the key thing for that is where all of your marketing efforts culminate, because it's 2024, everything heads back to the website.
It's 2024.
It's 2024. I had to check. Unless I'm time traveling.
Yeah, some time traveling. Yeah, because ultimately, I think your point is, 10 years ago it was a bit different, and actually there's a bit more of a domination from the idea of digital. That your digital shop front is important, right?
Pre-COVID, I think there were still quite a few care businesses operating on paper, and it's changed everything. People are making decisions about care online now they would never make decisions about. People are looking at 360 views of homes and videos of homes that you do, and making decisions based on that.
Yeah.
So they never actually visit and see, and that's what happened in COVID, and that's a shift that we've seen. So online marketing is more important than ever, but there's a lot of online marketing out there that isn't joined up. And it's all very well if you have your message, that doesn't necessarily relate to, can you then present that message correctly on a website? Can you make your branding work? Do you know how to relate that then to your print marketing, your content marketing? Is your website SEO optimized? Have you done all the things that will make sure that your message that you created is brilliant now, and that shows you as different, has points of difference? Can you make sure that it gets seen by people? Will it stand out?
Because I guess ultimately, unless you have that structure really well in place, any money you invest further than that, new website, pay-per-click, SEO, you're probably wasting a lot of it, because if it's not targeted properly at the right type of customer with the right messages, it's going to be a waste of money. I would say with video, you need to have your kind of your house in order for video to enhance it, because it doesn't necessarily, it won't fix a sinking ship.
And this is why the marketing has to run throughout the organisation. The organisation has to be solid, and you need to get the basics right. You need to have a website that works. But it is very sad, actually. One of the reasons that drives me on as a business owner is I get inquiries all the time, and people speak to me all the time about bad experiences they've had with marketing agencies, because it hasn't been joined up. Because they say to an agency, I want more leads. Okay, what does that look like? And then the agency sell them the thing that they're good at, which might be ads, or it might be Facebook, or it might be a website. And then they build the website, and they're like, well, what now? And it's not joined up. And I hear so many stories of people that spend like 3, 4, 5, 6, up to 10, 20 grand on marketing services that aren't joined up, that don't work, that don't think about the next 12, 24 months, where they've got to look at, okay, so you can get a lead, but can you convert them? All right, you can get leads, but maybe recruitment marketing is a thing, and that shouldn't be that you need a whole separate budget for that. It should be considered within the whole marketing ecosystem.
So, dark social.
Dark social.
So
I think you're going to teach me something.
Yeah, well, this is interesting. So, I think it's probably not got the right name, but basically it's the idea that there's social networks and messaging systems that you can't operate in or see. So, for example, a good example would be like a WhatsApp group.
Yeah.
Where people talk about you or your brand or your company. You have no control over that, but that does happen a lot now. So it's almost a new form of word of mouth where, I know across the care sector, for example, there is multiple big WhatsApp groups with lots of people in it that share information. I think we're in one, right, where someone said, I'm looking for a new care system, and then people came on and recommended this one, and you as a brand, you're not privy to that. It's quite an interesting thing, like, if there's a way to sort of help influence it, or I guess ultimately if your marketing's good, when you're talked about and then people come and check you out, you'll do well out of it.
Yeah, so I mean, dark social is probably where most of the decisions that care operators want to be made are made on WhatsApp groups between families that you can't have any control over. It's the whole family got together, and they're sending a link probably to the website or to a video they've seen. And we don't have any control over that, but we can control what they see once they send that link.
Yeah, and that looks good, and the reviews are good, and everything's up to date, and you're sharing information about what you do, and all of those bits and pieces. Yeah,
it's so overwhelming. There's so many different parts to it. Google reviews, you know.
Yeah.
I could talk for about half an hour on Google reviews and just how important it is to respond to messages.
And Google My Business, I think, is a really important part that people miss out on quite a lot.
Google Business Profile, as they renamed it, confusing everybody.
Yeah, you absolutely should own that. Have it, get pictures on there, add videos to it, respond to the reviews, and it's actually fairly simple to do.
But it's about habit forming. Yeah. Because it's about spending 5 minutes every week or like 30 minutes a month just managing all of this stuff. And if you don't know the plan, and you don't know what you don't know, right? So as a care operator, probably you're busy running around, putting out fires, managing staff, recruiting all the time, you know, evergreen recruitment, and spending that half an hour a month or 5 minutes a week on Google My Business or Google Business Profile is something that if you're not in the habit of doing, it's a very difficult habit to form.
Yeah.
But if you have a partner or support or provider or someone in-house that can do it for you, that's where you see the growth, because it's consistency. And that's what makes good marketing, is the joined up consistent marketing versus the one-off, I'm going to spend, or we've had people come to us and say, we did flyering and it didn't work for us. We did a leaflet drop and it didn't work. I was like, okay, well, where did you target and how many times did you do it? And they say, we targeted the whole of Birmingham and we did it once. Like, oh, right, yeah. So, of course, and they got one lead from it and it paid for the whole campaign, but they said it didn't work. And the key is making sure that you do it consistently. So target maybe a smaller area, but do it more repetitively. Find an area, maybe a postcode that you think these are our ideal clients in, and then do it 5-10 times. That's where you see its repetition. You know, it used to be that you needed 7 points of contact before somebody would contact you, before you had a lead. You know, so someone would see you on Facebook, they'd see you at a show, they'd see you here, and then eventually you'd have enough brand awareness to make a decision, and they'd come to you. Now it's something like 13, 14. The amount
is that because of the saturation of the market?
Saturation, people's attention span.
Yeah. Oh, interesting. Okay. Well, I've got one final, very big, important question for you. What's your favourite alternative milk?
So I've changed, actually. I thought oat had won the whole race, right? Because soya came in and was like, but well before everybody else. Dominated the market and then kicked back and was like, I've won this, boys.
Yeah. No, and then unsorted, and then they just they let it go.
And then oats come along now. And
branding, I think.
Branding, Oatly, very good. Love the chappy, friendly, innocent brand humour. But now, because of Zoe and the health app, everyone's looking, and apparently oat milk gives you an insulin spike, which apparently is terrible because it takes 3 seconds off your life or whatever.
Jesus, really?
Every time you have an insulin spike.
Okay.
So apparently almond milk is best. But because oat's so dominant, I went to get a coffee earlier, and they was like, "Oh, we don't do almond anymore. We just do oat or coconut."
Part of the reason they don't do almond milk is because then it's the nut allergies. Because then you have to have basically you have to use a completely separate wand when you're steaming it as a barista. Otherwise, you can't
potential cross-contamination
properly,
and lawsuits.
Because you have to sort of soak it in chemical to make sure it's clear. So I think it's why a lot of the places don't do almond milk. Because of the risk and potential risk involved.
Learn something every day. I'm going to have to put up with my oat milk.
You'd like to think that if someone has a severe almond allergy, they might say that or talk about that before they ordered a coffee.
You would hope so.
You would hope so. But so that's why. Well, thanks very much, Alfie. Been good to see you.
Thanks very much, York.
Thanks for coming.
Hey.